My mother-in-law's Facebook lies went viral. Now the police are at my door. I'm currently recovering from having my firstborn and thought this would let some of my frustrations out about the whole situation. For context, I am 26 and my husband is 29. We've been married for 2 years. Honestly, his mother-in-law wasn't too bad at the beginning. She wasn't a super nice person, but my husband said she was always like this. She was always neutral when it came to me. Not happy, not sad, not mad. This changed when I got pregnant. It also was when we had moved a few states away. This was not planned. We weren't trying to get pregnant, and my job sent me to live in Washington, so we moved there. And then I found out I was pregnant. Husband and I were elated, and with my new job and savings I have been building, we decided to keep the baby. We told his family after the second trimester since I have a heart condition and some other chronic illnesses that made the first trimester difficult for me. It was emotionally and physically tiring, and I was constantly terrified of losing the baby. But we made it, and my doctors felt more confident, so we told our families over FaceTime. My husband's family was ecstatic. This would be their first grandchild. Father-in-law especially was excited. He's the sweetest man. But mother-in-law for the first time shared her own opinion. She didn't like it. She said, if you knew you were having a baby, why did you move so far away? She accused me to moving closer to my family so that I would cut off my husband's family. My husband told her that we didn't know about the pregnancy when we moved. It just happened at the same time. It put a bit of a damper on the mood of the FaceTime, and we ended it early. Husband and I were both shocked at mother-in-law's behavior, but brushed it off. Again, she never did anything drastic to make me think she hated me or anything. Over the next week, she sent us email after email about houses back in our old state, trying to get us to move back. Husband told her many times we can't move. My job is here, and I have to be in person 4 days a week. We had found a wonderful house, and even though we weren't planning on having any children yet, this house is perfect for us. Mother-in-law then started sending houses or apartments to only my husband. 1 bed, 1 bath, telling him that he could get one of these and bring her baby to them while I work. What the actual hell? Husband shut that down super fast, saying his life was here now and he wouldn't be moving back. This behavior went on, but we ignored it, especially when we found out the baby might have my same heart condition. I had to go in to do a fetal echocardiography to check, and the stress started to give me palpitations. I was kept in the hospital for a few days for observation and then sent home. My husband was my rock during this time. Words cannot explain how much this man made me feel safe and cared for. This is probably why he didn't tell me of the continuing behavior of mother-in-law, which I don't blame him for. He also was working more, making sure our move-in was going okay, and also the emotional stress of the whole pregnancy. During this time, mother-in-law started sending baby stuff to our house. All male-gendered, even though we told her we weren't going to do a gender reveal or anything. I think all of that stuff is tacky, and I'm not premeditating my baby's room or toys or clothes by their sex. Plus, the stuff she sent was ugly as hell anyway. Time went on and I got better. My baby will most likely have my same heart condition. But the doctor said that any care or treatment can wait until post-birth. They're not worried about it at this time. Mother-in-law started posting on Facebook how her baby was in danger because of my poor health, and accused me of intentionally trying to ruin the baby's life. I'm not on Facebook and neither is my husband, so we didn't know about this. Well, my due date comes and goes and my baby doesn't want to come out, so I am induced into labor. People say you forget how bad childbirth is, and I don't know when that happens, but I hope it's soon. Because god damn, it was traumatizing. I won't go into detail, but both my husband and I were relieved when it was over. Because of my stay in the hospital, she knew which location I would be giving birth at. Once she knew I was being induced into labor, she got on a plane and showed up to our house. She called my husband over and over again, but he never answered because he was busy becoming a father. That's when she showed up to the hospital at 3 in the morning looking for us. Luckily, she wasn't able to get into our area because we were close to the NICU and there is extra security there. She called my husband again, and when he answered, she started yelling at him, telling him that she missed the birth of her baby and that she will never forgive me for this. She did not mean ruined, she was in the hospital. Husband was exhausted and just told her he'd call her back later. Husband went downstairs to get coffee and saw her. She demanding to see the baby, and when he said no, she freaked out again, claiming I was breaking the family apart. She said I purposefully got pregnant as we moved, so I trapped us in Washington. Anne basically unloaded all her thoughts and opinions about me throughout our entire relationship. Husband told her to go home and that he'll talk to her later. I had a girl, and both my husband and I love her so much. We got our own supplies and clothes, and we donated the stuff mother-in-law bought us. We both stayed in the hospital 2 weeks. In that time, mother-in-law posted on Facebook like it was her job. She found pictures of babies with a different ethnicity and posted them, not saying outright that I cheated on my husband, but letting other people think that. When husband and I took our baby girl home, that's when everything caught up to us. One of mother-in-law posts went viral where she was asking for advice on how to claim guardianship of a grandchild if they are being abused by their parent. Like legit lawyers commented links and messaged her. People asked for our address to call CPS. Once they researched her profile page, they found my husband and I. They found his work, my family. My family's business Yelp reviews were tanked, and the police did end up coming to our home. I had been home from the hospital for 4 days. I had only had 4 days with my baby. My husband dealt with everything, and my cousin is a counselor for an attorney and is going to help us file a lawsuit against her for defamation. I am so exhausted and overwhelmed with this information. I'm in therapy, mental and physical. My therapist said it's good to write down what happened and how I'm feeling. I don't even know if I'll post this or for how long it'll be able to stay up. I love my husband, I love my baby, but this entire experience has made me so depressed. I don't know why she did this, I don't know what changed. The aftermath. It's been 2 months since everything happened with my mother-in-law, and I'm finally starting to feel like I can breathe again. The lawsuit is moving forward, though my cousin Alyssa says these things take time. She's been incredible through all of this, coming over on weekends to help with the baby and bringing homemade meals. My husband Ryan keeps joking that we should adopt her. Ryan's dad, Jerry, called us last week in tears. He said he had no idea what Diane, my mother-in-law, had been doing online. Apparently, their neighbors showed him the posts after they recognized our names. He was mortified and kept apologizing over and over. Ryan told him it wasn't his fault, but I could tell he was disappointed his dad hadn't noticed how unhinged his mom was becoming. Jerry actually moved out of their house, temporarily. He's staying with Ryan's brother in Oregon until things cool down. Ryan says he's never seen his parents apart in 35 years of marriage. So this is serious. Part of me feels guilty about that, but then I remember the police showing up at our door while I was still bleeding and trying to figure out breastfeeding, and the guilt disappears. Speaking of the police visit, we received a formal letter from CPS closing our case. The investigator was actually really kind and said they get these kinds of vindictive calls all the time. She took one look at our spotless house, fully stocked nursery, and my binder of medical records and prenatal care documentation, and knew this was a false report. Still, the experience was humiliating and terrifying. What hurts the most is that Ryan had to block his mom's number. He tried reasoning with her first, had a 3-hour phone call where he begged her to take down the posts and apologize. Instead, she doubled down and said I was stealing her son and grandchild, and that blood will prevail. Whatever that means. She even had the audacity to send a certified letter demanding we change our daughter Olivia's middle name to Diane. The letter went straight into the evidence folder for our lawyer. The viral post finally got taken down after Facebook received multiple reports, but the damage was done. Ryan's aunt in California called to ask if the baby was really his, which broke his heart. I had to have my OB write a letter confirming that yes, Ryan is 100% the father, which feels like something out of a bad movie. My physical recovery has been slow but steady. The cardiologist says my heart is handling the stress better than expected. though my blood pressure is still higher than they'd like. Olivia had her first echocardiogram last week, and while she does have a small ventricular septal defect like me, the doctors are optimistic it may close on its own as she grows. We'll need regular checkups, but for now, she's gaining weight and meeting all her milestones. Ryan had to go back to work last week, which was harder than I expected. His company only offers 2 weeks of paternity leave, which feels criminally short. My maternity leave lasts another 4 months, thankfully. My mom came to stay with us for a few days to help with the transition, and she was amazing. Took night shifts so I could get some consecutive hours of sleep, which felt like the greatest luxury imaginable. The online harassment has mostly died down now that the viral post is gone, but we still occasionally get a strange message from one of Diane's Facebook friends. My family's business reviews are slowly recovering after my brother hired a reputation management company. I still feel terrible about that. My parents built that business from nothing, and one vengeful mother-in-law nearly tanked it overnight. We've installed security cameras around our house, which Ryan checks obsessively. I caught him sleeping on the couch near the front door for the first week after we got home. When I asked him about it, he admitted he was worried his mom might try to break in and take Olivia. The thought had never even occurred to me, and now I can't stop thinking about it. Our neighbors have been surprisingly supportive. Mrs. Chen next door brings over a thermos of homemade bone broth every few days, saying it will help my milk production. I don't have the heart to tell her I'm supplementing with formula because breastfeeding has been a struggle. Mr. Peterson across the street helped Ryan install the security cameras and keeps an eye out for unfamiliar cars on our street. The hardest part is the constant anxiety. I jump every time the doorbell rings or when I hear a car idling outside too long. I've started taking Olivia into the bathroom with me because I can't bear to have her out of my sight. My therapist says this is normal after trauma, but I worry I'm going to pass my anxiety on to my daughter. Ryan and I have talked about moving again, maybe to Oregon to be closer to his brother and dad. But my job is here, and we just got settled. And the thought of packing up and starting over with a newborn is overwhelming. Plus, it feels like letting Diane win, like she's successfully driving us away. So for now, we're staying put. I've started a private blog documenting everything, partly for the lawsuit, but mostly for Olivia. Someday, when she's older, she might wonder why she never met her grandmother. I want her to understand that we didn't make this decision lightly, that we tried everything to maintain a relationship, but ultimately had to protect ourselves and her. There are moments of joy, too, despite everything. Like when Olivia first smiled at me last week. Not a gas smile, a real one, with her eyes crinkling up and her whole face lighting up. Or when Ryan sings her these ridiculous made-up songs during bath time that make her kick her legs in excitement. Or when I wake up from a nap to find them both sleeping on the couch, Ryan's protective arm curved around her tiny body. Those moments remind me why we're fighting so hard, why we won't let Diane's delusions and toxicity poison our family, why we're setting boundaries that should have been set years ago. I still don't understand what snapped in her. Ryan thinks she always had controlling tendencies, but was able to hide them better before grandchildren entered the picture. He says his childhood was full of weird power struggles and emotional manipulation, but it was all he knew, so it seemed normal. Now, seeing her behavior through my eyes, he's recognizing how unhealthy it was all along. Yesterday, I received a package from an anonymous sender. Inside was a handmade baby blanket with a note saying, "For my granddaughter. Please don't keep her from me." The blanket went straight into a plastic bag for the lawyer, and I spent the rest of the day in tears, feeling violated that she knew our address. Ryan contacted the shipping company and confirmed it was sent from his parents' town in Idaho. I don't know if things will ever be normal again. I don't know if my relationship with Ryan's family can be salvaged, or if his relationship with his mother can recover. I don't know if the lawsuit will do anything besides drain our savings and keep this nightmare alive longer. But I do know that I'll do whatever it takes to protect my daughter, to give her the stable, loving childhood she deserves, to make sure she grows up understanding what healthy boundaries look like. For now, we're taking it one day at a time. One feeding, one diaper change, one small victory at a time. My therapist says healing isn't linear, and I'm trying to remember that on the bad days when I can't stop crying or when the anxiety feels overwhelming.